You just sat down for your very first BX game. You're playing a thief. You start looking at your character sheet and you see hiding shadows is 15%, maybe 10% of the dice were mean during character generation. And you look at me, the ref, and you say, Tenkar, this guy's supposed to be a professional? I have a 90% chance of failing the one thing I'm trained to do. This class is broken. Now, coming from 5e, where you're used to rolling a d20, adding, I don't know, +7, and basically vanishing in broad daylight because the math says so, this feels like a slap in the face. It feels like a nerf, but here's the secret we keep at the tavern. In BX, the number on your sheet is your failure insurance, not your primary tactic. If you're waiting to roll the dice to be stealthy, you've already lost the game. Today, we're going to deprogram your 5e brain, stop the stealth button addiction, and show you how a 15% skill is actually a superpower. So let's talk about that 5e hangover. In modern gaming, stealth is essentially a button on the character sheet. When you want to be sneaky, you press the button, you roll the d20, and you wait for the DM to tell you if the math worked. The mechanics precede the fiction. If you roll a 25, you are magically invisible. Even if you're standing in the middle of a brightly lit hallway, the DM has to bend the world to fit your role. In the OSR, specifically in the case of BX, stealth is a physical description of your location. Think about it. We don't start with the dice, we start with the fiction. If you tell me, well, I'm going to be standing behind that heavy velvet curtain while the orc guards walk past, you aren't hiding in shadows. You're simply, you're hidden. Period. No roll needed. If the orcs don't have a reason to pull back the curtain, they don't see you. The 5e player hears 15% chance to hide and thinks that's their total capability, and it's not. Anyone, even a plate-clad cleric, can hide behind a barrel. Anyone can stay quiet when a patrol passes if they move slowly and carefully. MBX is handled by the referee's common sense and the standard surprise roll. So why does the thief even have a skill if anyone can hide? It's a good question. And the answer is because the thief can hide where it is physically impossible for a normal person to hide. A fighter needs a pillar, a crate, or a wardrobe to hide behind. A thief can hide in the shadow of that pillar. A thief can, remember what the skill is called, hide in shadows in a room with no furniture just by hugging a dark corner and staying unnaturally still. That 15% isn't your chance to hide behind a wall. It's your chance to do something superhuman. You are blending into the environment in a way that essentially defies physics. If you succeed on that roll, you are effectively cloaked. If you fail that roll, you're just a guy standing in a corner, which means you better hope you describe the good backup plan. Okay. Here's another sticking point. In 5e, stealth is a catch-all. In BX, we essentially split the atom. If you're walking normally on a stone floor, wearing leather boots and armor, metallic at that, the monsters might hear you on a standard encounter check. But if you describe yourself as removing your boots, wrapping your feet in rags, and sticking to the damp moss along the wall to dampen the sound, I'm probably not making you roll at all. You're just being smart. You are using what we call the OSR player skill. The move silently skill is for the impossible. It's when you need to run across the floor covered in dried leaves and broken glass without making a sound. It's for when you're trying to pickpocket a sleeping dragon and you need to ensure not a single joint in your armor creaks. It is the extra life that only the thief class gets. Let's look at how this actually plays out at the table. In a 5e game, the player says, I want to sneak past the guards. The DM says, all right, roll stealth. The player rolls a 12. The guard has a passive perception of 13. And mind you, I don't play 5e. I played one session. If my numbers are off, don't crucify me. But the player gets caught, roll initiative. In the tavern, it looks like this. Player, I want to sneak past the guards. Referee. The hallway is 30 odd feet long. There's a torch every 10 feet. 2 orcs are leaning against the far door. How are you doing it? Player, okay. I wait for the torch to flicker or burn low. I'm going to stay on the left side where the shadows are deepest. I'm moving an inch at a time and only moving when they're talking to each other. As a ref, I might look at that and say, okay, they're distracted and you're being cautious. You make it halfway, but the orc on the left turns to spit on the floor. He's looking right towards your side of the hole. What do you do? Now, the player has a choice. They can dive behind the nearby crate, automatic success for hiding, or if they're caught in the open, that's when they roll hide in shadows. The 15% is for that oh shit moment. It's a chance that the orc looks right at them and his eyes just slide on past. Now let's talk about the armored characters in 5e. If you wear plate, you have a disadvantage, right? You're basically a walking drum set. In BX, if the cleric says, I'm going to wait until the blacksmith starts hammering on his anvil, and I'm going to time my footsteps to his strikes, well, that cleric is essentially moving silently. No roll because the player used their brain to negate the noise. Now, if the thief tries the same thing, they might not need the blacksmith. They can just be silent, but that requires the roll. That is the class distinction. One relies on the environment, the other potentially dominates it. Now imagine the party finds the great red worm asleep on a pile of gold. The 5e player rolls a 28 in their stealth roll. They walk up, grab the jewel, and walk on out. No tension, just mad. In BX, walking on a pile of gold is loud. It's shifting metal. It's a death trap. The thief says, I'm using my move silently skill. They roll their 15% and they succeed. See, now the narrative description is you place your feet with such precision that the coins don't even clink. They don't even move. You, however, are moving like a ghost. Now, if they fail that 15%, they aren't necessarily dead. Now we go to the standard 2 and 6 surprise check. See, the skill was their first line of defense. The game's core procedures are their second line. They get 2 bites of the apple. The fighter, well, they get 1. If you are a referee, you have to stop asking for rules. When your player says, I want to sneak, I want to move silently, I want, your default response should be how? Force them to interact with the map. If they give you a good answer, give them the success. Don't let the dice rob a player of a smart idea. Only when they want to do the thiefy stuff, the impossible shadows, the vertical climbs with sheer surfaces, do those percentages come out of the box. You aren't being mean by giving them a 15% chance. You're being fair by giving them a chance to do something no one else in the party can even attempt. You are making the thief feel special not because they have a big number, but because they have a unique capability that no one else has. If you're moving your group from 5e to BX, you need to have a session 0 talk, and you need to tell them. Your character sheet is a list of things you can do when your plan fails. Your brain is the list of things you can do to make sure your plan succeeds. Once they realize that hide in shadows is a supernatural feat, not a basic movement requirement, the frustration should vanish. The tension will come back, and suddenly every shadow in the dungeon is a resource, not just a line on a piece of paper. See, this is how we keep the game dangerous and the players engaged. If it's on the sheet, it's a crutch. If it's in your head, it's a strategy. If you rely on the D20 to save you, you're eventually going to end up as a red smear on a dungeon floor. If you're finding these dives into the old school way of doing things useful, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. We have over 225 minions here in the Tavern community, keeping the torches lit and the ale flowing. If you want to support the channel, check the affiliate links and the membership options below. It helps us keep the lights on and the OSR alive. Stop looking for buttons to press. Start looking at the map. Use your eyes, use your brains, and only use your character sheet when the gods have clearly abandoned you. Be well. Stay safe. God bless. And as always, I'll see you at the tavern.